All right, so we are live. So welcome back, everybody, for another exciting adventure here with Misa. So tonight we have, as we've talked about before, we kind of alternate between company information sessions and general meetings. Um, so last week we had the session on LinkedIn, and I know you guys were all really excited to hear some of the things that we can do to be able to improve our LinkedIn accounts to really just make us a little bit more employable to some of the employers. So tonight we actually have ShipMonk. We have two reps from ShipMonk here. We have actually the CTO for ShipMonk and also one of the HR directors as well. So it should be a really exciting session for some of you. Just to give a little background on ShipMonk, Jan Bednar, who is the one of the founders of ShipMonk, he's actually an MIS alumni from our program. So we love Jan, and he's helped the university and the college out so much. So we're so excited. If you guys were around last year, we actually had ShipMonk come on Halloween. So that was a really great session. So we're really looking forward tonight. So tonight, like I said, our special guest speaker that we have, he's the CTO for ShipMonk. But some of the cool things that he'll talk about with his background, right, is he's been at a lot of other interesting places. You know, some of the big names like you've heard from Microsoft, from Amazon, Netflix, and SpaceX, right? So really amazing companies. And then here he is now at ShipMonk. So it should tell you a lot about the type of culture and the type of company that ShipMonk is for him to be able to bring his talents there. So we're very grateful to have him. So without further ado, can we give a nice warm round of applause for David Pavlik, the CTO from ShipMonk.
Thank you.
Hey, David, is this work? Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on.
I think she had two accounts going on. So.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, there we go.
Yes, we do.
So sorry, David. We wanted me to jump in here first, right, David?
Absolutely. I would like to ask Noah for an introduction of the company, and then I will jump in. Thank you.
Sure thing. Sure thing. So I'm Donna Deschamps. I'm the Chief People Officer for ShipMonk, and I have been with the company for just about a year now. We can answer questions later on if the group would like us to about the organization, but I'll give you some general intro right now. So this is a 5 or 6 year old company that has doubled in size now 3 years in a row, and we continue to make the Inc. fastest growing company list. Our small to medium sized merchants love us because we help them stress less and grow more. What that means is that the majority of our customers are e-commerce platforms, oftentimes startup organizations, companies that have received some kind of funding, seed money, angel investors, and they go from having a small product that they're able to handle entirely on their own to having a large number of SKUs or a large number of products that they need for us to pick, pack, and ship for them. We do the inventory and we do the warehouse management for them. But at the core of our business, we're really about helping people be successful. And the underpinning of that is our technology. So we are, you drive past a large warehouse on Broward Boulevard in Fort Lauderdale and you say, wow, that's a warehouse company. No, actually, it's a technology company. And we've got plenty of robots in the warehouse to prove that. We have 3 locations scattered across the US, and I was brought on to help the organization scale even larger. We have a unique culture in the Fort Lauderdale office, and we want to replicate that in Pittston, Pennsylvania, and also in San Bernardino, California. As our merchants continue to grow, and everyone knows what's happened to e-commerce this year as a result of the pandemic, many of our merchants are seeing 2x, 3x size sales and order volume compared to the year prior. So we're going to continue to grow. We'll have another warehouse in the United States next year. And it's a really exciting time to be a part of the organization. So earlier in 2020, we made a change in on our technology team. Most of our development team is based in the Czech Republic, which is where David comes from, though he's visiting us now in the Fort Lauderdale office. David's our new Chief Technology Officer, brought in to really expand the offering and the breadth of services that the technology team will offer internally to the organization, as well as externally in product development and improving our product, continuing to innovate our app and our technology for the use of our small to medium-sized merchants. So David's only been with us for a couple of months. I'm sure that it feels like a year for him because he's had a tremendous amount of work and already is making a great contribution to the team, though I don't think he gets very much sleep. And it's harder when he's in the Czech Republic because, of course, we have him on meetings until midnight, which I apologize for that, David. But I'd love for him to tell you some more about his background and his time with the company. And then we can share a little bit about some of the career opportunities we know that will be available and opening up at ShipMonk for your students.
Awesome. Thanks, Donna.
You're welcome.
Absolutely. Excellent introduction, Donna. Thanks a lot. Really enjoyed it. Great. So hello, everybody. My name is David Pavlik, and as was mentioned, I was born and raised in the Czech Republic, actually on the border with Slovakia. So I'm originally from the Czechoslovakia, as I actually hear it quite often when I come to the US when people ask me where I'm from. Spent 12 years in the US, and it was about 2 years ago when we got back, and now I'm really happy that I could spend this. It was originally planned for 1 month, but it has been a second month now here in our headquarters in the Fort Lauderdale. Really enjoying the company culture and all the colleagues and all the kind of energy that you can actually feel in the warehouse. So how I got here started about it was like almost 15 years ago when I took my first job at Microsoft after the college, where I focused on informatics, on the computer science. So I was super excited. Let me just pause my notifications here with the Slack so we are like not disturbed. Sorry about it.
Okay.
I started my first job with Microsoft Czech Republic. Was super excited to join the team of the technical support, and thought that my work life can never get better because I joined Microsoft. That was in that time like the holy grail for all the IT folks, and I was just amazed about all the opportunities. Spent there about 3-4 years in the Czech Republic, and then I was given an opportunity to join the team in the headquarters in Seattle or Redmond in the state of Washington. And I moved to US, and then I realized actually that the impact that I was making there was a little bit limited, and I started to look for some new opportunities, specifically in like the startups area, in building something on my own, and actually trying to solve some problems end to end by myself. Around that time, we actually experimented with some startup with my wife and some of my friends. Believe or not, I was, I would say today, crazy enough to start first wine shipping e-commerce store where we were actually delivering a selection of Czech Republic wines to your homes. But we totally missed the fact that we should build some business model around that. So we had about 5 customers, 5 employees, and you can imagine we had zero money for the payroll or almost zero revenue. So, but it was fun experience. We learned quite a lot, and what I took away from it was some sort of passion for building something on my own, actually engineering something and running and operating the system, because only until you do something like this, you realize that you really need to engineer the solutions. You really need to think through the solutions, the architecture. How are you building the systems? Because you will own it, you will operate it, and it was both kind of scary and exciting at the same time. Even though our business kind of went bankrupt, I should say, we started a new business where we started the very first marketplace for for the farmers in the Czech Republic or some local producers. It was like a Etsy for food at the time in the Czech Republic, and then actually this business actually took off. We had tons of visitors. We had even some sales going on. It was a nice B2C marketplace, but again, the business plan wasn't there because we generated super low small revenue. So it was more like a hobby project. But the reason why I'm bringing up both of these startups is my story with Amazon. That was basically, I would say, the kind of pivotal point in my career. When I did my interview with Amazon, I was about 7 years with Microsoft at the time, and I joined Amazon. It was about 2011, and Amazon was just getting started. Today's Amazon is one of the most valuable companies on earth, I should say, and the stock price is 3,700. And when I joined, it was $180. So you can imagine how small or how little Amazon was at the time. And during the interview, they asked me standard questions about a little bit about my education, a little bit about my professional experiences. But then I mentioned that I was working on my startup, and since then the whole interview was about that, because I felt like that they really wanted to bring in somebody that is not afraid to start something, to build something, and to actually own something, and that actually wants to solve some real problems. And that's something that I would recommend to everybody, because to get some education and the theoretical knowledge is great, but always try to combine it with solving real problems, because not only you can get lucky and actually start a big business as Jan did here with ShipMonk, but it can also help you a lot in your professional career. It can help you a lot working for companies, because unless you really are a good owner, a good competent owner in the technical domain or business domain that you're responsible for, it's really hard to succeed. So that was my first big learning, that the kind of professional corporate like experiences combined with the education is not enough, and I need to start. I need to push myself. I need to start something on my own. I spent about 2 years at Amazon working as a technical program manager for operational excellence in engineering. It's a kind of long title, but what we did, we constantly improved how the engineering was done at Amazon, how we can improve engineering operations. Think about it, that we were supporting teams there whose databases were not working properly, or helping the teams, their websites were not working properly. We had, for example, the Amazon web application platform, the Amazon.com site, and we were constantly monitoring what is wrong with it, should there be some technical incidents, and how to improve those. And because we ran this program on the company-wide basis, we basically worked with all the engineering teams. There were tons of best practices to share and great discussions to happen when we connected what we call the time movers and shakers. And so basically the teams that did really well, that managed to decrease their technical, that they managed to decrease their high severity issue tickets, and the teams that actually saw the increase in those areas. So we connected these teams together, exchanged some best practices, monitored the improvements over upcoming weeks and months, and then based on some of the best practices, we actually developed a training program, and the training program, I believe it's still running at Amazon, and every single engineer has to go for it. It was amazing experience because I managed to meet tons of great engineering leaders, and B, I managed to learn how to really operate large systems at scale, and how to run a version of continuous improvement project. From there, I was pinged, or at the time I was pinged by my former colleague at Amazon, who recently moved to, or who recently joined Netflix at the time. And he recommended me for a role in the cloud solutions team. So that was the year 2012. And if you are following the tech industry, it was about the time when cloud computing was really starting to take off, and AWS, Amazon Web Services, were leading the way. And so I joined the team at Netflix that was responsible for the cloud platform and cloud operations, and we were one of the early adopters of AWS, and we went one of the first company that went wholesale completely on top of AWS. This was again big moment in my career, because I happened to be super early in the times when the cloud shift started, and I learned a lot about building distributed scalable systems. Basically, a system that it doesn't matter how many viewers are watching Netflix, it can keep scaling and scaling and scaling, because you are running on an amazing AWS infrastructure. The Netflix, not only it was quite amazing tech company, because it was basically like a playground for the geeks, and I really enjoyed it. But it was a place with an amazing culture. Maybe some of you heard about Netflix culture of the freedom and responsibility, and there are actually some books on the market right now by Reed Hastings or Patty McCord, who was the early HR officer at Netflix. And just to read about the culture, it's really eye-opening how to think about your company, the processes, how you work together, how you establish the feedback loops, how you continuously improve yourself. It's really eye-opening because it's using tons of common sense, and it's really relying on the people. That's the freedom and responsibility. You have freedom to do the job as you wish, according to your best knowledge and best experiences, but there is the responsibility piece. You are responsible for that. You are responsible for the delivering of the results. And I haven't seen before anything. I haven't seen anything like that before. Meaning, I saw some brilliant people there, but I saw also the people that that did not deliver the top performance, and they were let go quite immediately. And this kind of high performing culture was something super inspirational, something that I don't believe can work everywhere, but really eye-opening that there are different models how you can run and operate your company. And of course, the last point about Netflix, it was in the entertainment industry. So I actually checked my Facebook today, and there was this kind of reminder of what I did. I believe it was like 8 years ago. I was hanging out with Porsche de Rossi, so I still have the picture there on one of the company events. So you never know where your careers can take you, which is actually what I can say now is that it can take you to the sky, because sky is the limit, right? So I was when I was at Netflix, I was enjoying the vacation with my family and friends, and I got a ping over the LinkedIn from SpaceX. At that time, I had no idea what SpaceX is. They mentioned Elon Musk, but I only associated Elon with Tesla. But it was so interesting because there was the email that I got. The subject was, "Hey, do you want to help us to put people on Mars?" So I responded, "Sure, why not?" And I still have that email actually. And so we had a couple of conversations with the hiring manager, the recruiter, some of the team members. Then I had homework, as we call it. It was a 6-hour coding assignment, and then I was invited for the 7 hours interview. I'm not kidding; it was 7 hours with seven different people. And what was really great about it is because we were living in the Silicon Valley at the time, and they invited both myself and my wife to visit LA to see if we would like that place, and etc. So we arrived there, and the next day I came for the interview. They asked me, "Where's your wife?" I was like, "What do you mean?" And they're like, "We want to show her around as well." And after I did all of my interviews, I was completely exhausted. I finally got the point. They gave her amazing tour, and my wife, without asking me anything else, she just told me, "Hey, if you don't get the job, don't even come back home. We are moving here." She was so excited about SpaceX more than me, and yeah, it was just mind blowing. You grab a coffee in the cafeteria, and then you are walking next to the rockets and spaceships and the rocket engines, and I can confirm like everything that was written about Elon's approach to solving problem using the first principles and trying to reinvent everything and really pushing the whole company by its mission that we should be using sustainable energy for Tesla, or we should get people to Mars to basically save the humankind. They really believe it. The whole company believes it, and the whole company is marching that way. All of these companies that I mentioned have something in common, which is they have a big mission, and everybody is aligned behind it. All the teams are supporting that. So it was really amazing 4 years to be part of that. But after 4 years, I can't say I had enough rockets because nobody has enough rockets in their life. But I wanted to get back to the distributed computing, cloud computing, and start basically engineering something that people are using on Earth. I had a I had a short stop, I should say, for 2 years in the company called Kiwi.com. Maybe you used that service. It's an online travel agency. You can really buy great deals on the airfare. They are connecting, not connectable flights. Think about it like they can issue you flight ticket, Delta with EasyJet or some other low cost carriers. So they were very unique with that. And I joined the team as a CIO for about 2 years. It was really interesting and exciting opportunity because it was a higher level role. I got quite a large team to manage, and I had to learn a lot. I knew a lot about how engineering is done, how to build large, scalable, secure, fast systems. I didn't know that much about managing people, building the teams, and doing it at a scale. And so these 2 years were very much fundamental for me in that area. And we were on a great trajectory until COVID came, and I've never seen anything like that in my life before. We lost 95% of our revenue pretty much overnight. It was unbelievable to watch it and start basically fighting for survival. So I already mentioned that I learned a lot about managing people. I learned a lot about the crisis management as well, because suddenly you need to start calculating all your costs. You need to start calculating all the remaining revenue. In the travel industry, it's a big deal about the refunds as well, because suddenly you have 3 million, 10 million people who wants their refund ASAP. And that was something that I was just amazed how the whole management team pulled it together, and also basically the whole company working on projects that then they never had to deal with before in a kind of remote settings when you didn't know what's going to happen with the company. We need to keep the spirit up for the whole kind of staff. We need to increase the frequency of the all hands. Everybody had to participate, so it was quite an amazing time. After being like a three months in this kind of emergency mode, and everything was pretty much under control, I was feeling a little bit exhausted and feeling that okay, the CIO job is kind of cool, but again, I'm missing the big part of the engineering. So it was I started like to thinking like what to do next. I was exploring some other kind of reorganization within the company that I can focus more on some aspects of the engineering. But it was actually the time when Jen pinged me, and it was really really funny if I have a look at this situation from the historical perspective, because all of the major changes in my career happened over LinkedIn. Jen also pinged me over LinkedIn, and it was a very formal note. Hello, Mr. Pavlik. I know it's probably way too early because you've just been 2 years at kiwi.com, but I was wondering if you would be interested in discussing the CTO role, or if you know anybody who would be suitable. And I mean, if CEO pings you, you never say no. You always at least discuss. And B, I did my research immediately about ShipMonk and saw some videos, and I saw it was kind of the same feeling that I had at SpaceX when I saw the robots in the warehouses and the technology behind it. I was like, okay, you totally got my attention, and let's talk. But really, the moment that completely convinced me, and I was like, I definitely want to go ahead with that, was when I met the co-founder, the previous CTO, Vash, who started this company with Jen. And he explained to me how they build the whole systems, how disciplined they were when building the code, architecting all the modules together, making sure that everything works great, how were running operations, and then when I saw some of the numbers, how many orders we are processing per month, how many people we are coordinating in the warehouse. And then he told me, yeah, and the engineering team has 28 people. I was like, what? And he was like, yes, 28. I was like, okay, I mean, I want to learn from you. How are you doing this? So it was about summer this year. I joined the company in the 1st of August. And it's been wild, enjoyable ride, I should say, helping to scale the business. And so now are we getting finally to ShipMonk after kind of setting the context how I got here. So I already mentioned the research and development team based in Prague is pretty small, but the focus on the senior and experienced personnel is really making the difference. People that are joining this team, they are bringing tons of experiences. They are bringing in a way a discipline how to do the engineering work, how to build the solutions, and they are all kind of hungry to learn more. They are super excited to solve some of the really challenging problems. Just to give you an idea, some of the problems we are solving. Think about you have let's say today what it was like, I don't know, a couple of thousands boxes, and we need to fill them with some products. The products are distributed in the pretty large warehouse, and your task is to figure out what's the most optimal way how to fill these boxes so these can be sent to the packing stations, and those could be packed and then sorted to the carriers. And it already sounds pretty complicated. Let's add there more complexity. Now you have the robots. Now you have various picking methods. Some of the products are stored in the aisles. Some of the products are stored in the bag locations. So it's pretty complex problem. And if you have a passion for engineering, I would say always look for these problems that are complex, that are complicated, that there are more than one solution, and you will have so much fun for the rest of your life. Because these problems, those are not only problems that can be technically solved. We are working super closely with Donna's team because we need people who are actually following the steps recommended by our systems. We need to work closely with our marketing team, and we need to kind of be ready for all the new customers that are joining the warehouses. We need to work with the facilities team when we are opening new warehouses. We need to be basically ready and aligned with the whole company strategy. And that's what's basically making the role of CTO or the role of member of the R&D team super unique. You cannot come there only with with the knowledge of programming languages or some informatics, math, or other science. What's really needed is how are you going to apply it? How to compare various solutions that can be applied to the same problem, and ShipMonk is a very unique place to do that. It's kind of focused problem. We are working on fulfillment, but you can go super deep with constantly improving the systems. Also, what's really great about this job that sometimes you are working with some of the most advanced infrastructures in the cloud, or sometimes you are just dropping the cables in the warehouse. You never know what comes tomorrow, and if you should dress your dirty pants, or if you should bring your shorts, or if there will be a business meeting, so you should come really nicely dressed. So yeah. So talking a little bit more about our R&D organization, already mentioned we are in Prague. Right now we are expanding a bit with our presence in the US as well, because we learned that we need to connect better with the actual warehouse IT infrastructure, meaning networking, Wi-Fi, devices that we are using for our warehouse workers, such as kiosks for packing, or handheld devices for scanning and picking the products. We need to make sure that all the teams, such as Dona's team or marketing team or our happiness engineers team, they can be productive. They can use the service. You can imagine how many times in my 2 months here I heard, "Hey David, internet is not working. Let's fix it right now," because it can sound super simple when you are watching Netflix and your connectivity goes down. When our connectivity goes down, we are basically stopping the operations in the whole warehouse, and those are some of the reasons why we are ramping up teams here. Donna will be talking a little bit about some of the opportunities that might be here, and the R&D team. So we have majority of our team is composed from backend engineers. Our engineers, they are highly skilled in the computer science and one or more programming languages. Currently, for our development, we are using the PHP language. Some people are laughing at us because it's a kind of a language for the super simple web shops. But we are using, I can tell you, really advanced version of that primarily for the backend operations. Then we have teams that are actually supporting the engineering teams, such as product management teams. We have test team. We have DevOps team. DevOps is a shortcut or acronym for developers operations, so basically make all of our developers productive. And recently we also started building data science team. That's the team that will always embarrass me for my lack of knowledge in that area, because some of the algorithms, machine learning models, forecast models, it's really amazing. I believe that's the ShipMonk's future, where we will be able to learn more about our business, about our customers' business, so we can plan better for the future. We can really optimize the way we work. We can connect multiple algorithms or test various algorithms, how to solve the problem I mentioned initially, how to pick all the orders. So we are definitely investing there, and also ramping up a bit of our data management team, because what I learned in my previous companies, some of the companies, and I basically took it for granted, like at Amazon or Netflix, they had their data in great shape. In some of the startup companies, like my previous one, we were struggling with having clean and actionable data. And I'm a big believer that in 21st century, you need to have data about simply everything, so you can make decisions not only about your warehouse processes here, but we need to make HR decisions everywhere, even like HR. I was super impressed. Super impressed by some of the models. How are we forecasting number of people we will need for the warehouse? How to best build a mix of our agency staffing, our in-house staffing, and how we need to basically build the organization so we can actually support it. So bottom line here is the data algorithms and technical solutions is definitely not only for the engineering domain, it's everywhere in the business. And as Donna mentioned in the beginning, that's what I would like to wrap up is, we are a technical company, and we are using technology simply everywhere. So that would be it from me, and I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Should I talk a little more about our job opportunities before we take the questions?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yes?
And then
Okay.
we can open up at the end if they have questions for you, Donna, or if they have questions for you, David. So
Perfect. So what I love about hearing David's background again is the mix of big company experience, successful large organizations David's been a part of, and also his willingness to show up to work in shorts and run around in the warehouse if he needs to. If you look at my background, same kind of story. A company growing and scaling like ours needs to have some folks who've seen big company experience before, but also can take what they've seen built in a large organization and dial it back for an organization of our size and our speed, and it seeds some important pieces of infrastructure into the organization as we continue to grow. And I think David brings a lot to our team from that standpoint. And many things that David's accomplishing now are things that somebody, whoever was first in the building or whoever noticed the internet went down, used to fix the internet. But now we have a guy who's actually assigned the responsibility of making sure the internet stays up, which is an amazing part of our maturity as an organization. So, I mentioned a little bit about culture. The other couple of things I want to say is having that mix of understanding what's common in a large company and a successful company, what do best practices look like, mixed with the willingness to roll up your sleeves and dial it back for a ShipMonk environment. We hire people that are very hands-on, that are willing to do whatever needs to get done to get the job done. It's a very fast pace. So people who want to drum their fingers on the desk and think broadly about all of the multiple options we have before us are going to get left in the dust. Somebody will already have done something if you're sitting around contemplating the solutions. And communication skills are really important because we do work with a small corporate team. A lot of people wear a lot of hats, and it's important for us to communicate quickly, swiftly, succinctly, but thoroughly, and to influence one another in making decisions amongst this fast-paced, somewhat remote work environment that we find ourselves in. So David and I do have one position that's advertised right now on our careers page. I know you sent that link out. It's a new role we've just created, an IT support tech. This is a job, kind of an entry-level, hands-on job that would give someone an opportunity to see what it's like to do asset management, installation, support, and maintenance on the various systems within the warehouse. It would give someone an introduction to what that warehouse environment is like. And to be honest with you, there's a strong need for this role. And because of our relationship with FAU, I failed to mention my MBA is from FAU, so I'm also an owl. Because of our strong relationship with the university, we will absolutely consider a way we might make this work for a student, for an intern, if there's somebody who's interested and qualified to hold this kind of role. Beyond this role, David continues to shake up his organization and determine how he will both manage the development team in the Czech Republic and potentially add some additional staff here in the US. And so we're anticipating in the spring that there could be some movement towards the creation of a junior software engineer team here in Florida that would give some other folks who have that software engineering track an opportunity for either full-time, part-time, or intern work. We would just ask you don't tell the other schools in South Florida that we made any special considerations for FAU, since the majority of our full-time roles will be looking for full-time folks, but we can make some flex for your students. So we've got that one opportunity available right now, and then some more coming in the spring. And with that, I'll let you answer or ask some questions.
So thanks so much, Donna. So feel free for any of you, if you want to either post it in the chat or if you want to pop your mic on and off, feel free to ask either question specifically to Donna or David or both, whatever you feel. So.
I can read the one that's coming in from the chats.
Great.
So Jonathan Rivas comes in and says, there's constant innovation and improvements in the world of technology, such as improvements in robotics and in the cloud. How do you stay competitive, if not ahead of the competition, in terms of innovation?
Yeah, excellent question. The one part of the answer is that we are basically trying to understand all the processes first before we start building the solution. Meaning, all of the processes we are implementing as some sort of MVP. Then we actually go into the warehouse and we test the processes ourselves. Then we do some assessment, evaluation of possible technologies. We are not afraid of combining various technologies. We are not afraid to bring in the latest technologies to try it out. But we are also not afraid to roll back if we learn that this is not the best fit or if we are doing something wrong. And this approach that we are basically not buying software off the shelf, or we are not bringing in tons of consultants or third-party companies that would build their solution, is actually something what's pushing us ahead, and that's actually helping us to stay ahead of the competition. And the second part of my answer is that we are really working as the team. As I gave you a couple of examples where how we are leveraging technology everywhere, is we really need to bring it all parts of the business together, because we cannot innovate only on the warehouse floor. We need to engage with our happiness engineers so they can explain this to our customers. They can understand what kind of problems our customers can have with our technology. HR team needs to bring us the right talent to basically help scaling up this company. So those are basically two approaches that I see that we are leveraging at ShipMonk a lot. I don't know if you want to comment more on this.
So, I'm going to give a shameless plug to the founder, because Jan has founder's DNA, and we walk a fine line looking to implement best practices in areas of the organization where it makes sense to do that. What are some of the best practices for recruiting talent, maybe? But the majority of the rest of the business, particularly when it comes to the merchant-facing side of our business and the products, our product and our offering to the merchant, it's about breaking the system. It's about doing something nobody else is doing and not replicating or trying to stay current with. I don't know if we really talk about our competition, because we don't have competition, because we are out there working to be the best and doing things oftentimes in a way that other people are not doing them. So a lot of it is about staying current, staying ahead of the curve, doing things differently, breaking what's been done before and doing it better.
Yeah, no, I think it's really cool. Another part of the initial question, or the second part of this question, is there a next bigger step that you see the company kind of going towards to? Like, what's the next big step in the industry?
I would say from the technological perspective is to support the innovation and sometimes I would say the crazy ideas we have, but at the same time also making this a sustainable business, because once we learn something, once we really scale up, we need to sustain the business. We need to guarantee business continuity and stuff like that. So we need to become always a little bit more and more mature in what we do, and at the same time support this innovation. Couple of specific areas are we are investing a lot into the automation. Basically, the whole warehouse systems. Our big vision is that we can multiply the capacity of the warehouse with not multiplying the number of people that need to work there. We want to make sure that every warehouse worker can be more and more effective, and that's something what we are investing a lot into, and we really are crossing our fingers that we will see this for the upcoming peak in a couple of weeks now with the Black Friday and all the following days. The other thing is to build our technology and solutions to support geographical expansion. As Donna mentioned, we will be opening new warehouses in US, maybe in other countries as well. We need to it's not so much about to figuring out where to open the market, or where to open the warehouse, because there will be always opportunities. It's about being ready for that, and that's where we are innovating.
Mhm.
And being responsive to our merchants. We have a number of merchants that are expanding as their businesses move from small to medium or beyond medium. So they're selling globally, and merchants that are selling globally want to have a global footprint in their fulfillment partner. So global domination is certainly within the scope of our goals.
Mhm. All right. Yeah, no, I feel like that kind of makes sense. After moving their product around, it's only more. Uh, the next step would be get more involved with them, start from the bottom up. As kind of David said, these crazy ideas, get them kind of up and going.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
I think
No-
I think the next question in chat's probably going to go my way.
yeah, sure, for sure. So I have here, with my employees wearing many hats, is there a strict, managerial structure in place? Is it more fluid, with less supervision and more employee empowerment to make bigger decisions on their own? So I guess, like, do you have to be more of a self-starter kind of thing?
So this is a great question. And working for a young millennial entrepreneur, I can tell you strict is probably not strict is not in my response.
Hmm.
Strict management structure, not the case. In fact, if I could describe it to you this way, people at ShipMonk are going to be successful if they can identify problems and recommend solutions to solve problems. And that's first and foremost in your own backyard. I mean, I don't think anybody wants me running the finance department. We've got a very qualified guy that can do that. So my first responsibility is obviously on the people side of the business, but I need to have myself and my team focused on doing things to make the people practices better, and issue spotting where a great example, I can hire people all day long, but if our operations leaders aren't treating our people well and our people keep leaving, then they're impacting my success, and vice versa. So I need to have both the willingness to point out that we've got to make some changes in ops leaders or make some changes in how our managers are treating our people in order to retain people, to improve retention. And so I would say this: if you find a problem, you're supposed to solve a problem. And if it's not yours to solve, you need to collaborate with the people who own it and influence them to make it an issue and to put a resolution in place. I wouldn't say we operate with little supervision, because the oversight, the executive team, is frankly working a lot of hours every day to move this business forward. And if you're sitting on a problem or hiding something, you're not going to get away with hiding it for very long. One of us is going to figure out that there's a mess over there, and either, like if Jan couldn't find me and needed to ask somebody on my team a question, he would absolutely do that. And that would help me, again, state that being strict in our management practices is not really practical for us. We're moving fast and getting stuff done.
That's
Okay.
great.
Yeah, that's really awesome.
So David, I know we got just a little under 10 minutes left. I know some of the common things the students ask, even in most sessions. Some of them are just starting out in their program. Some of them are pre-business. Some of them are still trying to figure out their major. We have some that are our MIS students, which is sort of this business and technology. So do you have any recommendation for some of these students on what they should kind of be working on? What are some different programming languages, tools, things that really could help them be competitive when they're going out into the job market?
It's a great question, and I usually provide these two answers. First, the one is I really believe that the formal education matters, and it really matters to learn what Elon Musk is calling the first principles. You cannot be a really successful programmer if you don't understand at least some fundamentals of the computer science, math, and other things. So, uh, if I was talking to myself when I was at the college, I would spend even more time studying the hard courses and hard subjects, because even though I did not finish all my kind of math or computer science courses with an A grade, I still remembered, even with my B or C grades, a lot that I was able to leverage it. Don't expect that, especially if you are in the college, don't expect that you are going to leverage your knowledge right away. It can take years. You need to basically wait for the right opportunity where you can leverage that. But I'm pretty sure it will come one day, and you will remember, oh, I actually understand how this works, how I can leverage the knowledge I gained. And the second thing, or the second answer is try to build something. Just do something, because even if it's a small e-shop, or if it's a product that you're going to sell on Etsy, try to basically build something and try to sell something. Try to build a product, because from my perspective, you will learn a lot about how to basically take your idea through implementation to a product, and you will need to find your market. You will need to meet your customers, and nobody can teach you that. You have to do it on your own. So I would definitely recommend it.
That's great. That's great advice. Thank you.
So I'm gonna jump in with something I've heard 2 times already, and I made a note in the chat myself. So David said that Jan reached out to him on LinkedIn, and I gave one of your students here the shout out for being the first to try to connect with me. And 30-year HR professional. I've been doing this a long time. Resume crosses my desk, or today a colleague I've known for many years pinged me and asked me if her daughter might be a good candidate for the happiness engineer job that we posted, that I posted on LinkedIn yesterday. First thing I did is go look for this young lady's LinkedIn profile. And I know you tell this to your students and they may not be listening to you. So maybe from a 30-year HR professional, they're going to hear me. I go to look at a profile to see how thoroughly you have explained yourself and your professional point of view to the World Wide Web. So it's not just about your education and your experiences, but it's also about the activity that you have on LinkedIn. Someone who goes onto LinkedIn once a week and likes 3 articles is not the same person as someone who's actually published articles on LinkedIn, or who takes other user-generated content and adds their point of view and puts it out for commentary. I look for people who have and have made recommendations. So if you have recommendations that have been made for you, but you've never made one for another human being you've ever worked with, that actually says something about you, because you might give more than you take. There's quite a bit of information that somebody in my seat is going to gather by looking at a LinkedIn profile. And like David, I've had some really wonderful career opportunities land in my lap because somebody found me on LinkedIn.
Absolutely agree. It's a great opportunity, and as Donna said, try to react, try to provide your thoughts, because people are actually following it. I love LinkedIn more than I like my Facebook, because it's much more focused. It's about the teams that I like to look into, and yeah. On that note, I would add maybe one more thing. Don't wait to be really senior or gain too many experiences to start giving back. If somebody reach out to you for an advice, if somebody asks you for help, regardless of the kind of if it's a big help or small help, try to be there for them, because you never know that this person next year will be a really big shot in some business and can help. It happened to me many times. And really giving back should start right away when you have something to give back, and you should follow this the whole career.
I'm going to throw one more thing out there, because I think LinkedIn can be intimidating for some folks who don't consider themselves to be experienced professionals, but you're all probably pretty good at managing Facebook or Instagram, one or the other. You knew how to get out there and generate content that would be interesting and engaging. LinkedIn works exactly the same way. So if you have 10 influencers that you follow, a couple of publications like the New York Times, Forbes, Fortune, if you have Microsoft and other tech companies that are interesting to you, all you have to do is follow them and your feed will be full of stuff that should be right in your wheelhouse. So then all you have to do is share it and comment on things that are right in your wheelhouse. If you haven't followed things that are aligned to your career and your goals, you're not going to have good content. You know, if you guys are just, if you're not following anything at all, then your feed is going to be full of, you know, your cousin and, you know, a couple of your schoolmates, which just isn't going to have much to respond to. So the more following you can do of thought leaders, educators, authors, you name it, just figure out what your career is going to look like and go follow people that are already doing it, and then you'll have good content.
I love it because this last week we actually did do a LinkedIn workshop here and trying to help each other improve our LinkedIn's, and I think everyone here can take both your guys' advice and, you know, help even improve their LinkedIn even further now.
Yeah.
Great.
Actually, that would be one of my giving back. So let's do a random drawing after the session, and I'm happy to spend 30 minutes with one of your students just to revamp the LinkedIn and share any of my experiences, 101 session. So Jonathan, if you come back to me with whoever was selected, I would be more than happy to help.
Oh, that's wonderful. We appreciate
awesome.
that, David.
Pick,
Yeah, so
pick two. I don't want to look like I'm not helpful. Pick two.
Yeah,
One for me too.
I'll
Awesome.
get names written down here. And
yeah,
make
so
sure
I can pull, if you want, I can just pull Christian the attendance list after
Oh,
we finish. So
true.
here I have the sign-in sheet, which actually a good kind of transition. I'll go ahead and post that. So since we're right up towards the end here, I just want to take just the time to thank both David and Donna for not only presenting, but just giving this great overview, not only on the company, but also just these great skills that all of us can take to be able to improve not only our professional, but all our personal lives as well. So we really appreciate that. So thank you both so much for
Thank you so
taking that
much.
time.
Thanks
I'm going to
for
go ahead
asking
and
us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
stop the
Go
recording.
Owls.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead
Yeah,
and stop
go
the
Owls.
recording. And then what we'll do is we kind of